Hey everyone, how's it going? Via Van Helsing here, and welcome to the 5th in the series of these GIMP tutorials that I've been doing. Today we're going to go over some more photo adjustments. I went over photo adjustments in my last video, but today we're going to be going over some more like correction type stuff. So I've got a picture here. It's an okay picture, it's just a picture that I took off my phone, and you can probably already see that there are a couple of things that I would like to change about this picture. First of all, one of the glaringly obvious flaws is the fact that my finger was in the way of the lens. This happens a lot. So I'll show you first of all how to fix that. Either fix it or crop it out. We're gonna have to see because GIMP has some good tools for fixing stuff like that, but occasionally you're just gonna have to crop out the whole thing. Also the picture is a little bit more crooked than I'd like it. You know, having a little slant to a picture like this is fine, but it's a little bit more crooked than I'd like it. Also, I don't think there's enough contrast between the background and the cup itself. So we're going to show, or I am going to show you, not we're going to show you, we're going to learn this together, but I'm going to show you how we can fix some of this stuff and make this picture look just that much better for your Instagram, or if you'd like to put it on your website, or whatever you'd like to do with it. So to start out, we're going to take care of this glaring flaw that is the finger in the way here. Now GIMP has a tool called a spot healing brush. It's this little band-aid right here. And occasionally a spot healing brush can actually be used. Yeah, I'm not healing. And occasionally that can actually be used for like getting rid of different flaws in your picture. So what GIMP wants you to do with this brush is basically set a spot in the image that you like to heal from, and that's basically just a place for GIMP to reference the healing spot. Like, it's a part of the image that you want the healed spot to look like, and I'll just show you what I mean here in a second. I start using the spot healing brush, and as you see, it's sort of cloning it and trying to make it look like the spot that I'm healing. And it looks better because the finger is no longer there, but as you can see, that doesn't exactly look right. The images and the screen in the background are kind of blurring together. It just doesn't look quite right. And that's just because the spot healing brush isn't perfect. But if you go through it a couple times, you might be able to get a better result than this. And it will work on some spaces better than others. My finger was covering a pretty complicated part of the picture, which is the screen back here. If it was covering something that had more of a solid background, then the spot healing brush would work better. But as it is, it's not working very well right now. So instead of trying to do that, I'm just going to crop my finger out of the picture. And let me show you how to do that real quick. Oop. Redoing rotate the image. There we go. Okay. So in order to crop my finger out of the picture, I'm going to go over here to this little symbol and to the crop tool. And when you go to the crop tool, you're going to see that there's a couple of options here. The crop tool is going to crop the entire image unless you click current layer only. Now right now our composition only has one layer, so it doesn't really matter, but if you have a composition that has 2 or more layers, if you want to just crop one layer instead of the whole composition, you can put current layer only. Also, I have this checked off right now, delete cropped pixels. That just means that when we crop it, the parts of the image that we deleted are like gone. If you uncheck this, then the parts of the image that you cropped would still be there, just in case you changed your mind. Allow growing, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off because I don't want to grow the picture at all, but you can crop and literally expand the picture instead of cropping it. And if you do that, you can fill it with either transparency or a couple of other things in here, but I don't really want to allow growing right now. And also, you can fix certain things in the picture. You could fix the aspect ratio, or you could fix the width, height, and size. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to uncheck this box. And so yeah, I think I'm just going to crop it from here. And I'm going to take this and I'm just going to barely crop off the top here. And I'm going to crop off just a little bit of the bottom to make sure it's symmetrical. And once you do that, GIMP is going to give you a bit of a preview of what your crop is going to look like. And if you're satisfied with it, click off the crop tool by clicking on one of the other tools. I usually just click on the paintbrush, and GIMP will crop your image. And so you see my finger is no longer in the way of the lens, and we're looking pretty good here. Now I'm going to crop again just to center the cup a little bit more just like that. And now the cup is central and everything's looking pretty good. Now I'm also going to rotate this image. Now we did rotation in the last video, but I'll show you how to do it one more time. I'm doing normal forward. I'm using cubic interpolation, and I'm cropping with aspect. So we won't get any transparency in the background, and we will also get the same aspect ratio in our picture that we had before, and it'll just crop off all the transparency that will show. Because you'll notice if you rotate your picture any length, then you're going to start to get transparency in the background because the picture is, you know, it's tilting to the side and you have transparency like over here and over here. But it's tilting to the side a little bit, and as we rotate this, it's starting to crop it off a little bit, but the aspect ratio in the picture, as in the width and the height, is staying the same. The same ratio, not the same width and height, but the same ratio to width and height. And then once you're satisfied with it, just press rotate, and your cup is nice and rotated, the picture is level, and this is what we're going to be working with from here on out. Now, the first thing I'm noticing about this picture from here is that it's just the slightest bit blurry. So I'm going to go over here to filters. I'm going to go over to enhance. I'm going to go to sharpen unsharp mask. And I just want to apply a little bitty bit of sharpness to the picture to get that blur out of there. So you notice I just applied a little bit, not enough to really change the picture, but a little bit just to take the edge off the blur. And I'm going to press OK. And the picture looks just that little bit better. And let me show you a side by side. That was the picture when we started out. This is the picture now. Looking pretty good so far. Corrections are going well. And again, this is obviously not the only way you could correct this photo. There are lots of different ways you could correct it potentially, but this is just what I'm going for right now. Okay, so let's say I wanted just a little bit more contrast in the scene, just to play around with it. I'll lower the brightness a little bit, increase the contrast, just to get the shadows a little bit better and make it look a little bit more poppy. And I also, if I could, I want to increase the blackness just a little bit in this. So in order to do that, I think the best way would probably be to go over to exposure and to up the black level just a little bit. I'm going to go over to color, saturation. I'm going to see how this works, but I don't think it's going to be too important seeing the cup is white. But I will increase it because the color's in the background. I'll show you what we're going to do with that here in a minute. I increase the saturation just a little bit to let the colors kind of pop out and shine. Alright, and I think that should be all for what I want to do with this. Pretty sure that should be it. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so after I do that, I'm going to go over to filters and I'm going to use a special filter called a lens blur. Or a focus blur. No, focus blur. I was wrong. And what the focus blur does is it lets you pick a focal point inside of your image and lets you focus in on that. So what I want to do is I basically want to get the text in focus and then get the rest of the picture kind of out of focus. So I'd still like the cup to be mostly in focus, but the text is probably the most important part of the picture. So I'm going to come in a little bit, and this stuff, the circles around what you're seeing, is just kind of a way to interact with the blur to make sure the blur is the way you want it. So I'm just focusing here right in around the cup. And I want to just kind of make the background be secondary to what's going on with the cup. I want the text to be in my focus. And that's just going to be the focus of this picture. Cup is just a little bit more in focus than the rest of the picture, but not too much. And I think that should be good. And you see, we got the effect as if we were using a camera and focusing in on that part part of the image and then letting the rest of it blur out around it. So we got a little contrast going on here. We've taken out the blur that we didn't want. We've put in some blur that we did want. And now we focus on text that says, let all that you do be done in love. And this photo, you know, there's lots of different ways you could go with this if you wanted to go a different way with it. I personally like it the way it is right now. I like it this way. I'd post this on my Instagram story. I'd do things with this. I like it the way it is right now. So, yeah, if you have any more suggestions on things that I could do in videos in the comments, just let me know. If you had maybe a photo that you'd like to offer me, for example, like, say, how would I fix this photo or that photo, let me know and I'll try to maybe use one of those photos. If you could email me, I'll put my email in the description if you want me to, and I will try to edit those photos as an example. I mean, any interaction that I could have with my audience right now would be absolutely great. So if you have a photo, I'll put my email in the description and you can email it to me and I'll try to show you guys how to fix that maybe. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!